This is Valley News Live at 10.
That's the sound of hail plummeting through the region. This is a collection of videos capturing the hail happening in Frazee, Minnesota today. You can just hear the hail pounding the ground and on the tops of vehicles parked right outside. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nashay Taylor. The severe weather that brought the hail also passed through most of North Dakota. Summer is here now with some of the latest reports on areas from around the region that were impacted the most. Summer?
Thank you so much, Nashay. Those storms outrolled through both rounds 1 and round 2 brought heavy rain, gusty winds, and some large hail. We just saw the video of that hail. Here's a picture. And for reference, that's a 50-cent piece right there in Osage, Minnesota, near Big Toad Lake. That is some headache hail. And they also brought picturesque clouds. Take a look at this. It just reminds me of a big wave, makes me want to go surfing, even though I have no idea how. Red Lake, Minnesota area. Thank you so much to Brandon Mountain for taking the time to send in that photo to valleynewslive.com. Now I want to go through what the satellite and radar loop looked like. So starting last night or early this morning, round 1 moved through and brought severe weather. Round 2 quickly fired in the afternoon and brought additional hail. And since then, we've had spotty thunderstorms trying to develop in northwestern Minnesota and off into north central North Dakota. Rainfall reports, many areas seeing about an 1.25 inches, including Forest River, North Moorhead, and Hubbard. Here at Valley News Live, measured a total of 1.15 inches of rain through today. Right now on satellite and radar, again, we've had a couple of thunder showers trying to go, but struggling in northern Minnesota. But we do have some stronger storms about to push into Towner County, and they have the potential to become stronger or even severe later on tonight. So coming up in your hour-by-hour forecast, I'll track where these are headed and what we might expect if any become strong to severe. Right now, temperatures are comfortable in the 70s. But Nashay, in addition to that hour-by-hour forecast, I'm tracking the heat that will be on later this week.
All right. Well, by the way, I think you would be a good surfer.
I don't think so.
No?
Maybe.
All right. Thanks so much, Summer. New tonight at 10. It was a busy night for the Fargo Police Department as they responded to several calls for disturbances and physical altercations that took place downtown this weekend. FPD officers responded to a report of an assault in the 0 block of Broadway around 2:15 this morning. They say 2 individuals were involved in an altercation with a group of 3 other people who confronted them. Before officers arrived, the 3 individuals fled the scene. One of the victims suffered a broken nose while the other lost consciousness. But just a short distance away, a physical altercation ensued outside the VFW. Fargo PD says an impaired patron left the VFW with a drink in their possession. A VFW employee tried to take the drink away, but the patron started a fight with that employee. As a result, the patron suffered injuries and was treated at a local hospital. Right now, the incident remains under investigation. A South Dakota man was arrested in Jamestown for failing to register as a sex offender. Yesterday, the Jamestown Police Department received information about 28-year-old Lorenzo James Movescamp of Woonsocket, South Dakota, who had been living and working in Jamestown. JPD says after locating and confronting Movescamp, he fled and a short pursuit ensued. Movescamp was later arrested for suspicion of failing to register as a sex offender, fleeing from law enforcement and resisting arrest. He's now in jail at Stutsman County Corrections, where he will stay until he is formally charged. A Minnesota man is facing assault charges as well as others after fleeing from police. The Starbuck Police Department says yesterday morning they responded to the Lakes Area Inn Hotel for a report of an assault with a weapon. When police arrived, the suspect, 41-year-old Justin Cardinal of Columbia Heights, Minnesota, ran away on foot. Local authorities say they searched for Cardinal for hours before learning he stole a vehicle with a boat trailer attached. Cardinal later fled into Grant County, where where he stole another vehicle in Elbow Lake. A witness saw that theft in progress and followed Cardinal into Otter Tail County, where police were finally able to catch up with him. The victim in the assault was airlifted to a hospital in Minneapolis. Cardinal's pending charges include a first-degree assault, fleeing in a motor vehicle, and 2 counts of motor vehicle theft. A motorcyclist was injured following a collision with a car on I-94 just east of Moorhead last night. The Minnesota State Patrol says both vehicles were traveling west on the interstate when the motorcycle hit the back of the car. The motorcycle then ran off the road and into a median. The 35-year-old motorcyclist from Fargo was taken to a local hospital. His injuries are not life-threatening. Now, the driver of the car was not hurt. The chief operating officer for Thoroldson Ethanol in Castleton has died. An obituary from Hanson Runsvold Funeral Home confirmed the death of 47-year-old Ryan Thorpe. According to the funeral home, Thorpe died on July 7th at Pelican Lake. A celebration of life is set for this Tuesday at the Hope Lutheran Church in Fargo. The details surrounding Thorpe's death are still unknown at this time. A local father is battling stage 3 cancer, and the community is surrounding this family with support while he prepares for a major surgery next week. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling has more on the man's fight for life.
This is 39-year-old Dan Duda. This father of 2 is facing one of the toughest battles in his young life, stage 3 esophageal cancer.
All the stress that goes along with a diagnosis like this, I mean, you know, how much you're going to have to spend for hospitals and travel and everything.
Now he's preparing for a major surgery next week that will remove a part of his esophagus and stomach. And Duda has his 2 young kids next to him every step of the way.
And they're one of the main reasons I'm fighting as hard as I can against this.
A benefit was held to help raise support for Duda as he faces financial strain from mounting medical bills, missing work, and the cost of travel for health care.
With Dan, he's always been very positive from the beginning. It wasn't something that was, it was just something that was going to be curable for him. And so we all have held on to that, and that's what we're looking at.
So far, close to $20,000 have been raised to help Duda and his family.
Seeing the community, I mean, and family and friends, and I mean, just random businesses even donating things, it's just been overwhelming, honestly.
In Moorhead, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Also new tonight, funeral services were held this morning for the North Dakota Air National Guard Sergeant and Carrington Police Chief who died in a motorcycle crash. A law enforcement procession escorted Chief Sola's body into the Oak Valley Lutheran Church in Velva. He will be laid to rest tomorrow during a service at the Fargo National Veterans Cemetery. A Minnesota community came together yesterday to honor the memory of a family with a tragic ending. Dozens brought flowers and lit candles for the 3 children and their parents who all died a week ago from a triple murder-suicide. On July 1st, Maplewood police officers were dispatched to a mobile home where the father had reportedly shot himself. Hours later, a search occurred for the mother and her 3 children. Unfortunately, the bodies of the children and the woman were pulled from the Vatnus Lake over a 2-day time span. The Supreme Court's decision to strike down Roe v. Wade has reignited the nationwide debate over abortion and reproductive rights. As more states move to ban or restrict the procedure, abortion rights activists are calling on the White House to do something. Elise Preston has more.
Demonstrators took to the streets again this weekend to demand a federal law guaranteeing the right to an abortion.
We're demanding that the federal government do something to legalize abortion now. That waiting till November is not enough.
Pro-abortion marches have become a frequent sight across the country in the wake of the June 24th Supreme Court ruling that overturned Roe v. Wade.
I will stand here and fight, and I will stand here and raise my voice. A solution is accessible access to abortion nationwide. Your body, your choice. My body, my choice.
On Friday, President Biden signed an executive order aimed at protecting women's abortion rights. It expands access to abortion medications, protects online privacy and access to contraception, provides legal help to patients and providers, and upholds the right to travel out of state to get an abortion. This morning in Delaware, the president said there's little else he can do.
I don't have the authority to say that we're going to, state Roe v. Wade as the law of the land.
Vice President Kamala Harris told Face the Nation that the issue of abortion will ultimately be decided by Congress.
Because that branch of government is where we actually codify, which means put into law, the rights that, again, we took for granted.
Republicans, like Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, say abortion laws should be left to the states.
This is a moment for our country to have a discussion around this, and each state will decide something different.
At least 10 states have enacted a near total ban on abortion. Nearly 24 more have taken steps to outlaw or severely restrict it.
A California doctor is making some waves with a new idea to expand abortion access in states where services are banned or limited. The OBGYN says she and a team of licensed providers will travel by boat along the Gulf of Mexico and offer abortions on the water to people who can't access them otherwise. They will also offer other services you would see at a reproductive health clinic, all at little to no cost.
The concept is that the vessel will be in federal waters, which the distance from shore varies by which state that you're near. And there will be various ways of transportation to the vessel, depending on the distance.
The doctor and her team maintains the process is legal in federal waters. Later on Valley News Live at 10, a former top U.S. official has decided to tell his side of the story to the January 6th Select Committee.
And it's a beautiful evening at the fair. You can see that Ferris wheel still going. Tomorrow will be comfortable in terms of temperatures again, but I'll be tracking some isolated showers and storms. Hour by hour details are next.